So what's it like not buying fabric for an entire year? I'm checking in and I've got an update for you. Welcome to the Sewing Report. I'm Jennifer Moore, helping you discover your love of sewing, crafts, and DIY projects. At the beginning of this year, I announced that I was going to go an entire year without buying any fabric, a total fabric ban. Fabric blackout, I don't know what you want to call it. So it's about 6 months later, and I thought I would do an update video, a follow-up to let you know how it's going, what kind of thoughts I've had since I've not been buying fabric. Am I experiencing withdrawal? Am I about to go crazy? So I haven't been buying fabric for the last 6 months. My stash, the reason I did it was because I felt like my stash was totally out of control. I just kept accumulating more fabric, and there was more than I could possibly use over a course of several years. So at that point I decided, maybe enough is enough. As you know, in 2017, I stopped buying clothing, and I still haven't bought any clothing since then for myself. And that project has been going pretty well, that whole challenge. So adding another layer on top of it, I thought might be a little frustrating, or I might run into more roadblocks. And I've got to say, it's been a lot easier than I thought it would be. Before I started the ban, I did kind of think about all the projects I might want to do throughout the year, and I spent about $100 from Fabric Wholesale Direct, and I haven't really used any of that stuff either. So I think that just goes to show, sometimes you think you need something, or you think you won't be able to go without something, and you really can. In fact, I did a pretty large de-stash a few months ago on my Instagram account, Sewing Report Shop, or Shop Sewing Report. I'll throw it up here right now if you want to follow me. In fact, I may do another de-stash because I'm just coming to find out that I really have more fabric than I need at the moment. And if we move again, which looks like it might be a possibility in the future, move out of this apartment, then I definitely don't want to be lugging around all that fabric again. I think that's what kind of brought me to the breaking point as well, as I was like, wow. I keep all my fabric, a lot of it in plastic totes. They're very heavy, it's a lot to manage. And again, I don't know what kind of place we're gonna be moving into after this. So if it's smaller, that's definitely gonna be a problem. So I'm certainly trying to use up my stash this year, and I'm probably gonna do another de-stash to try to purge fabric that I clearly haven't used, and I'm gonna try to basically purge it, I guess that's what I'm saying. Not that I'm going like full-fledged minimalist, we're not going all tiny house or anything, but I guess I just realized I don't want to be the kind of person that has those like huge ass bookshelves filled with fabric. I really don't want that to be me. I've got like kind of a small cabinet right over there that has some fabric in it and some other notions. And I think another thing that's come out of this whole thing is that I don't know what it is, but I'm also gravitating towards other interests like the dollhouse addiction. That's become a little bit of a problem. And I'm also developing an interest in knitting and crocheting. And again, I think that's another thing that you need to think about with these hobbies. The more you accumulate materials for its supplies, what if your interests change? For instance, I had a huge stash of quilting cotton, and then I started making garments. And quilting cotton is not the best substrate for a lot of the items I want to make. So then, of course, I had to start accumulating garment quality fabrics, stuff that knit fabrics, things that were a little more like wash and wear, that didn't wrinkle as easy. So again, then you just start accumulating more and more and more. And over time, again, your interest could change. You might not be as hot about quilting as you used to be. I could, totally fall out of the dollhouse thing. I have no idea. So I'm really trying my best to try to, at least if I'm switching interests, trying to offload some of my other materials that I might not be using. The longer it sits too, not like fabric goes bad, but it probably will go out of style, and over time, maybe the quality could degrade or it could get discolored, I don't know. Have I been tempted to buy fabric? Yes, I have. Every time I get those emails announcing sales, there is one collection in particular that that caused me a little bit of agony. It was the Cloud 9 fabrics. They have this collection called Glimmer, and they're just gorgeous fabrics, and they've got metallic threads woven in, and I will link it below because it's a gorgeous fabrics. And if I could buy one fabric this year, it would definitely be that line. I just really fell in love with those metallic fabrics, and I was like, oh. So that's probably the 1 week moment I had where I was like, oh, I really want that. I do want to also do some videos this year with repurposing fabric from other places. I still haven't done my Goodwill shopping yet, but here's the thing though, it's not like I need any more materials to work with. I already have tons of fabric, tons of supplies, so I really don't need to really go out and buy new stuff or find new stuff. So I don't know, but this whole thing has really been an interesting experience, and if you haven't done it and you're in a place where you feel like you have too much stuff, this could be really good for you and help kind of change your mind frame and chill out on some of your, again, I'm also not spending money on fabrics, so that's been kind of cool too. I think the downside though, I do feel a little bit bad because I'm not supporting fabric designers and fabric manufacturers. That's probably the thing that kind of bums me out, but there's so much fabric out there, and sometimes it's really hard for you to pare down what you're going to do, what you're gonna buy, because you can't buy it all. None of us can buy every piece of fabric that's ever been created. It's probably not possible. Overall, it really hasn't been as tough as I thought it would be. I know that sounds crazy, but that is the truth. And I think I very easily feel like I can go the rest of the year without buying any fabric. So I just wanted to kind of do an update and let you know how I was doing, which is pretty good. And I hope you enjoyed this video, found it helpful. If you do, hit that like button and subscribe to the Sewing Report for everything sewing, crafts, and DIY projects. I'm Jennifer Moore, and I'm just gonna sit here and keep on not buying fabric.